Hello, hello. Welcome to Mumbai.
Hello Vishal, thank you. Now I get to come out to the city more often. पहले तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं होता
Of course, अभी तो आप Shark Tank पे हो, shooting तो यहीं हो रही है Shark Tank की.
Actually that's right. Now that I think about it, Mumbai Shark Tank के कारण काफी बढ़ गया है. Yes. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here.
So it was incredible to actually have you here, especially we are discussing about AI, we are discussing about innovation, but we are also going to be discussing a little bit about Bombay and Delhi, given that you are now spending more time in Bombay than Delhi. So let's start with the first question. Bombay, Delhi, and why Bombay?
So before I begin answering, is English plus Hindi combined okay?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, सिर्फ English better. Any preference? Combined is fine. ठीक है. So, look for me, I'm very envious first of all of you at Mumbai. I think आप लोगों ने जो team में किया है, I have been thinking we have to do this in NCR. So we have to have Gurgaon and Noida join the party. I think it's incredible what, I read the report that's come out. So it's fantastic. So first off, congratulations on what you have done. I hope that all of you have been listening to some exciting conference. I've been following on YouTube a lot of videos coming out of the conference, been fantastic. Why did I build the business in Delhi first? Look, I think it was purely circumstance. ऐसा कोई thought नहीं था Vishal that we'll do it in Delhi versus do in Bangalore versus Mumbai. I grew up in, like where I grew up in Odisha. I was in Kota for my 11th and 12th grade. मेरे को हर जगह मिल जाते हैं यहाँ. Anyone from here who went to the Kota factory? The big Kota factory?
Kota factory.
Some. We have quite a few actually. It's almost 10%. So I went to Kota. Kota से Indore intercity चलती थी, which is an evening train which goes to Delhi in the morning. That was the nearest big city, so I started my business there. And I think ever since I have remained. Delhi was super expensive, hard to build a business, as easy as it was in Gurgaon. So I moved to Gurgaon and have been building the company ever since. Look, I'll tell you, over the last 10 years, here are a few things I have seen be great about our Mumbai experience, and here are a few things I've seen be great about the Delhi experience. I think Mumbai may, to be able to find great finance understanding is unparalleled. And finance generally लोग सोचते हैं कि जो capital raise हो रहा है, investment हो रहा है, उसी की बात करी जाती है. My first investment of 20 lakh rupees at 1.5 crore valuation, that was my first deal. आप तो याद है आपको?
Yeah.
That was done by Mumbai Angels, like a set of Mumbai Angels, not Mumbai Angel Network. वो 20 लाख रुपए भी was from 15 angels in 2 tranches. Right?
By the way, I was one of the guys who missed the opportunity to invest at that time.
But you supported us, for which I am very thankful. But that was the first deal. And उस समय ऐसे होती थी एंजल डील्स. आजकल तो बात होती है कि 5 मिलियन का पहला सीरीज करना है नहीं करना है, तो 20 लाख रुपए 1.5 करोड़ रुपए वैल्यूएशन. एंड ऐसा नहीं, बहुत साल पहले की बात था. आई एम स्टिल यंग, दिस वाज 10 years ago. But it just contextualizes for you that even though the capital was scarcely available, the capital was available here. Second, Mumbai is also the center where I found lots of consumer demand. It's probably one of the largest consumer demand markets in India, due to which you can imagine कि आप जो भी business बना रहे हो, वो आप मुंबई में you can almost create a sizable 500-700 crore का revenue purely from here, potentially if you're building a consumer brand, which I think is the second thing I found exciting about Mumbai. And the third is talent is very similar to our value system. So these are things I've liked about Mumbai.
Yeah.
But that said, of course, I'm very proudly a Haryanvi entrepreneur.
So I know while we talk about Mumbai's finance and Delhi's the Delhi Jugaad, as we say, I think one thing I want to talk about is technology adoption. You know, do you see Mumbai and places like Mumbai have a higher acceptance to new tech, or do you see a lot of early adoption in other markets?
Sure. I think Mumbai does have substantial technology adoption acceleration. That happens because of multiple reasons. First is, Mumbai is probably by far, in my understanding, fast upgrading per capita income city. यानी लोगों की कमाई तेजी से बढ़ रही है यहाँ पर. वो पार्टली आउट ऑफ चॉइस नहीं है. मैंने रिपोर्ट में पढ़ा कि नवी मुंबई में 25-30 हज़ार में महीने में रेंट पे मिल जाता है
इजीली,
पर बाकी मुंबई में तो नहीं मिलता है. तो अगर आपको बाकी मुंबई में रहना है तो महंगा है, तो उस कारण से कमाई भी ज़्यादा होती है. सो दोज अर्निंग्स हैव लेड टू better technology adoption because once people have a credit card, थोड़ा technology access है, smartphone Apple का है, तो your ability to use technology is much higher. Second is also the financial inclusion is much higher. I think the per capita bank account access and so on are so much higher. Third, I feel like the access to modern forward-looking products. Like when Apple had to open its first store, they opened it here.
BKC.
Here in BKC. I think we are at the Geo Center, which is probably one of the most forward-looking conferencing venues, and it's incredible the amount of demand it has shown. So मुझे लगता है कि a bunch of these things have led to Mumbai become, in my mind, a technology adoption capital. And there is also reasonably cosmopolitan nature. I'll tell you what I struggle with in Mumbai. I'm in a hotel business, and some of you may be staying at OYO last night. If you did, thank you so much for that. If you're visiting from outside of Mumbai. I think it's hard to find great real estate at the right price point in core Mumbai. I think Naya Mumbai mein you're right? Like we've opened a bunch of hotels in Navi Mumbai, in airport area, which are doing really well. But we want to grow in the core Mumbai area, but that's a journey. We will get there over time.
So I want to kind of step back a little and then move a little forward. I remember your OYO standardized a lot of things in the hotel industry, right from the soap to the towel to all the things, and you kind of created the experience. Now the world is moving towards AI. Recently there was a hotel launch in Las Vegas, which is a completely AI-enabled hotel, right from the check-in to even when you do room service, everything is AI-enabled. So how do you see AI adoption within the hospitality sector, and are you thinking of creating some of these standardized offerings?
So let me answer in 3 different parts. The first is fundamentally our business was built on the back of dynamic pricing. Now it was not designed on models that today's world of AI are using, because we started our business 7-8 years back. But OYO would not be what it is today if we did not use dynamic pricing. We drive 75% or 70% plus of our bookings from US, Europe, Southeast Asia, Middle East and other markets. That happens because we are able to sit in India, design dynamic pricing and get better yields. So mere hisab se, even before you walk into the hotel, there's a lot of data science and AI that's implemented in matching the right locations, being able to drive dynamic pricing, and that in itself is a multi-tens of billions of dollars ka industry. The second, which is in hotel, some of you may know that Microsoft is one of our shareholders, and one of the things that we're trying to work together is to launch something similar to the Vegas hotel. So our company also has a 700-key Vegas hotel
I've
on the strip.
I've been there, yeah.
So if you land in Vegas, it's impossible, right? Like the first hotel you see is the OYO, because on the strip. And that's the hotel where we're trying to integrate some of our technologies to replicate some of the work that's happening. And the reason why that's crucial is it allows us to have a much improved experience for the customer, because we can almost predict what the customer wants in their bedroom. We want to make sure that their check-ins are seamless and things like those. But it also reduces costs. For hotels outside of Asia, mein chalo theek hai, fir bhi per capita income is still rising. But West mein, almost up 20 to 30% of the revenue you spend in just maintaining the property, right? Which is the housekeeping and so on. Now the typical robots can take few images per second, and they can clean only so much, right? The new version of robots that are coming, they can take tens of thousands of pictures at the same time, and they have the biomechanics like the Boston Dynamics, so they can go on the other side of the sink and clean. So I think this AI's ability to help the hotel industry is significant, but there are few big ones, which is pre-check-in, which is what we are focused on today, but eventually we'll support starting with front office to make sure that you don't need a human to just do front office check-ins. You have somebody who just serves you, but all the effort can be done through a machine all the way to in-room experience and cost reduction. But I want to talk about the last part. The last part is often when I meet entrepreneurs, including at Shark Tank off stage, after the pitch is done, they ask, AI में क्या कर सकते हैं Ritesh, what do you think? Now, I am a curious entrepreneur such as you, Vishal, so I am constantly learning. So, if you're a new entrepreneur and you're thinking क्या करना चाहिए AI में, I would recommend 3 ideas for you. And these are 3 ideas you should know. I am exploring as much as you, but I have a full-time job, and you also maybe have a full-time job. So it depends which of it is interesting. The first one is on the infrastructure layer. Infrastructure layer mein you may be seeing that every large corporation is putting, aajkal 1 gigawatt is a starting point, right? Reliance is putting a 1 gigawatt center. Yota wants to do 1 gigawatt in center. I was hearing recently our friend Bhavish wants to do a 1 gigawatt center. तो वो एक opportunity है, पर 1 gigawatt का center यानी लगभग $20 billion से $25 billion का cash spend. अगर आप Blackwell chip use करना चाहते हैं Nvidia का, तो थोड़ा महंगा है. पर infrastructure बनाने में कई सारी components होती हैं, and each component is a tens of billions of dollars का industry. For example, liquid coolant, which is a critical component of AI chips, is an industry which is huge. I don't see anyone in India trying to create a liquid coolant business, which by the way in the US has become into a large industry. Our cost of manufacturing will be lesser. Our R&D can be far more quicker because much like space technology, we have lower cost of R&D as well per individual. So the first thing. Second thing I would say is within AI, take any industry that you feel is very mundane. Take legal for example, take our own industry, जहाँ पे भी significant SEO driven traffic आता है, उस industry के अंदर में how do we make sure that we can create a lot of machine oriented content जिससे कि you can be as what is that, customized for the consumer search as possible in terms of content. And the last one, which is the application layer, which is where the most amount of excitement is in India. There's InVideo is a company from here, and they're very exciting other enterprises. I think that segment there is of course a lot of play, especially in audio, visual and digital, but I think वो आप लोग समझते हो, मैं आपको क्या समझाऊँ application layer में क्या करना है. I think a lot of people here are engineers, I was told. तो आप लोग application layer तो समझते ही हैं. I don't think that I'd be adding a lot of value. So these are the 3 things I would say if I were to think about doing something in AI, what opportunities there would be, beside of course setting the full infrastructure like data center बनाएंगे, chip design करेंगे and things like those. Yeah, LLM बनाएंगे and so on.
So we have a huge part of our audience students, and today morning Kunal Shah also was telling कि सब कुछ बदल गया है, and in his own style he was scaring them a bit. What is your advice to these people, because you also started very very young? I mean,
I'm a very bad person to take advice from because I never went to college. मैं college drop out कर दिया, तो I never encourage it. But I want to begin by saying that when so my story is that right after my 12th grade, I had the opportunity to become a Thiel fellow. Peter Thiel is the founder of
we had met around that time.
We met around the same time.
Yeah.
He gives $100,000, यानी आज की करेंसी में 85 लाख रुपए, as a gift to 20 people under the age of 20. Acceptance rates are low, but the only condition is you have to stop out of college. Vitalik, who set up Ethereum, is one of the Thiel fellows. I would imagine some of you use Figma. Figma was started by Dylan Field, who's also a Thiel fellow. So some good companies have come out of the Thiel fellowship over the many years. The programs, but the more important part is the program's contract. The first line says, we never let university interfere with education. It means learnings are everywhere, including here, and probably you'll learn more here than just classroom. University is a way of it. I learned a lot of in my life through conferences. I used to, that's where we met. I used to go to every single conference I could. And I used to meet as many people as I could.
And by the way, he was the follow-up king.
Yeah,
followed up like hell.
मैं 40 ईमेल लिखता था, 39 बार नहीं रिस्पॉन्ड, 40th टाइम शर्म करके कोई लोग रिस्पॉन्ड कर देते थे.
Actually, that's a great, and people, a lot of people just do 2 mails and reply in AI and
I
they give
used
up.
to be, I used to be like one of the participants in this session. The reason I remind this is that it doesn't take a long time to go from there to here. It can make you feel कि it will take forever, but it is very very slow and then very very quick, right? I remember मुझे वो टाई दिल्ली वालों ने एक बार मतलब उनका कॉस्ट बहुत महंगा होता, आप लोग के जैसे नहीं, आप लोग का तो फिर भी ठीक प्राइस है, तो अपने पास उतने पैसे नहीं थे. मैंने देखा कुछ लोग होते जो लैनियार्ड पहनते, कुछ लोग नहीं पहनते. आप कॉन्फिडेंस से आ जाओ तो बिना लैनियार्ड के भी एंट्री मिल जाती है. आई डोंट एनकरेज इट, लैनियार्ड पहनिए आप लोग प्लीज. आई ऑल्सो गॉट माई लैनियार्ड एंड सो ऑन. आई वॉज टोल्ड दैट फॉर द फोटो इट्स बेटर नॉट टू हैव इट, बट आई थिंक एट दैट पॉइंट it makes like going to a conference and meeting people and then following up is in my mind extremely crucial. 90% जगह it will not work. मैं आपको बताता हूँ संजीव जी की कहानी. संजीव जी from InfoEdge, I met him at a conference. Big Chandani, he is the OG of the Indian startup ecosystem. Everybody knows him, respects him. मैं मिला उनसे, उन्होंने अपनी टीम से इंट्रोड्यूस किया. The teams for whatever reason said that you're too early for us. It's a very popular initial content, understandable. हमारा business भी genuinely early था. But what that helped is because I had met him earlier, a year and a half back, when I needed some advice, I could call him and say, Sanjeev sir, मुझे 2 जगहों पे help चाहिए, आपका क्या opinion है? And he said, अच्छा, I remember you from that conference. You are that kid who calls every month. I'll try and help you. So I think in this ecosystem, my sense is showing up is 50% the battle won, because most people after 3 or 4 conferences become invisible because they give up. The game is क्या आप 10 से 15 बार क्या आप टिके रहते हो क्या? अगर आप टिके रहते हो ना, वो इन्वेस्टर भी कहता है हर जगह मिलता है ये मुझे, तो ये यहाँ पे लगा रहेगा. कस्टमर भी कहते हैं कि बहुत बार लगा हुआ, एक बार ट्रायल तो करते हैं. पोटेंशियल एम्प्लॉय भी कहता है ये दिस पर्सन इज नॉट गोना गिव अप, इसके साथ काम करूंगा तो मेरा भी कुछ हो जाएगा. So eventually persistence and resilience, if you're starting with nothing, is a big competitive advantage, at least for me, that has played out.
No, as it is said that the people who win are the people who don't give up, and that's Ritesh for you. So Ritesh, now that we are talking about people who are not giving up, please tell us now that Shark Tank में किस तरह की pitches आपको अच्छी लगेगी, because AI की वजह से सब बदल गया है. तो I know while the normal D2C brands were all there, what kind of pitches are you going to be expecting from people now coming in the next season?
Look, first off, I'm seeing 3 important things at Shark Tank. The first is the entrepreneur matters more than the business, because end of the day, आप बिजनेस किस सेक्टर से शुरू करते हो और कहाँ पे एंड करते हो, they can be completely different.
Your initial idea was Airbnb.
मेरा तो पहले शुरू में when I started was like guest house का booking website, and now we're managing hotels by using technology. It's like a digital hotel company versus a booking service.
Booking service, yeah.
Complete difference. So entrepreneur matters. अब entrepreneur में क्या देखते हैं? First is clarity of thought. So please look up this company called Speed Kitchen. I am a little bit biased because it's an ex-OYOpreneur, one of our employees who set up that company. Because he had left us for a few years, I could not recognize him initially, but later when he said OYO, I could remember which role he was at. This guy set up a company, and if you look at his pitch, the clarity with which he explained, I think it's also come out now on YouTube, the Speed Kitchen pitch. It's exceptional. Second, numbers पे पकड़. हम लोग जब शुरू करते हैं, हमें हमेशा क्या है, हमारे बबल होती है इंजीनियर्स की, तो हमारे आसपास के सारे इंजीनियर्स कहते हैं कि अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बताओ, नंबर्स तो अपने आप सही हो जाता है. आई हैव लर्नड अपने आप सही से नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू गेट योर नंबर्स राइट, बिकॉज इफ यू गोना बिल्ड अ प्रॉपर बिजनेस, इवन इफ यू डोंट मेक रेवेन्यू इनिशियली और पुट कॉस्ट, तो कॉस्ट के लिए कैपिटल चाहिए होता है. एंड द लास्ट एंड प्रोबेबली द foremost that I have seen work is a bold vision, because you're early stage companies, nobody knows where you will go. But do you have a bold vision कि हम कुछ बड़ा करना चाहते हैं और वहाँ पे कैसे पहुँचेंगे? I think these 3 things have worked.
So by the way, when I first met him, he was 19 or 18, and he told me he'll do 2,400 crores in revenue. तो मतलब 2,400 crore का revenue, very bold vision. Of course, I waited to invest, and he's done more than 2,400 crores. So I think that's another great example. So I think last question before we open up few audience questions. आपको 3 अगर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स पिच करें तो आप कैसे पता लगा सकते हो कि ये बॉम्बे का एंटरप्रेन्योर है, दिल्ली का है या बैंगलोर का है? 3 pitches you don't know, you just hear the pitch. How do you guess ये कहाँ से है?
तो if the person uses the word बरोबर, समझ गया ना, there's a few others, I think, no, but on a more serious note, an entrepreneur who's most closest to the ground, जिसको अपना business का पाई पता है, वो बम्बई से है.
Okay.
Right? So attention to detail and business orientedness is at their best. अगर दिल्ली वाला है तो जुझारू है, resilient, कि मतलब छोड़ेगा नहीं, मतलब अगर एक बार घुस गया तो फिर जब तक सक्सेस नहीं है तब तक लगे रहेगा, which is what I think Deepi, Vijay, a lot of them embody, right? I'd say Bangalore, अगर मीटिंग शुरू होने से पहले कहेगा कि मेरा UX देखा क्या, right? और आज सुबह कुणाल भाई आए थे तो उनका UX, मुझे लगता है क्रेड का UX is fantastic. They have done a great job, but I think मुझे लगता है it's amazing that Bangalore has gone from deep engineering to probably deep engineering plus probably even more in design, which I respect about Bangalore. So those are the 3 things I would say.
And of course, you just turned profitable. Mumbai startups are known to be profitable. So Bangalore और profitability के बारे में कुछ सोचा है आपने?
देखिए मैं कोई हेडलाइन नहीं दूंगा इस पे. मुझे पता है, मेरे बहुत दोस्तों ने दे दिया है. मेरे को कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं उसमें जाने के लिए. What I will tell you is,
no, but still, I mean,
मैं आपको सिंपल चीज़ें बता सकता हूँ कि दिल्ली की 4 बड़ी कंपनीज हैं जिनका मान लीजिए 5,000 करोड़ से ज़्यादा का रेवेन्यू होगा. Zomato है, पेटीएम है, पॉलिसी बाजार है, मतलब न्यू एज कह रहा हूँ. इन्फो एज तो ओजी तो हमेशा से रहे हैं, और हम लोग हैं. जहाँ तक मुझे मेक माई ट्रिप है, सारी की सारी कंपनीज आर मेकिंग between $50 to $200 million in profits. So दिल्ली का थोड़ा प्रॉफिट से नाता अच्छा है. अब बाकी शहरों का मुझे पता नहीं, बम्बई का भी बहुत अच्छा है, बाकी शहरों का मुझे पता नहीं.
Anyway, we have time for a couple of questions for Ritesh. So please, if there are the mics already there, can we get the mic here? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ria. I'm a surgeon at Nanavati. So I've been trying to pivot into entrepreneurship, and I want to know, how do you find that one idea and put all your faith and everything that ये काम कर जाएगा? How do you get that conviction?
So doctor, first off, I genuinely believe that there is a lot of potential for people from the medical field, from the administrative services field to come to entrepreneurship. There is not as much that we get. One of my colleagues, Mandar Vaidya, worked with me for 5-6 years. Now he's an entrepreneur, runs a company called Cloud Physician. He's a surgeon turned doctor turned entrepreneur, executive and then entrepreneur. So you're on the right track.
Thank you.
I think business idea, my sense is that way too many people try to search online कि क्या idea है, by understanding कि ये segment है तो online search करते हैं. उसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं होता. आपको जो industry अच्छा लगता है ना, उस industry के 10 stakeholders से जाके मिल लीजिए. They'll tell you the answer more often than not. So that's what I would say, that showing up is majority of the problem solved. Like when I started, I went to 100 hotels, guest houses. Vishal bhai, you remember this? I'd have told you this story when I was pitching. I knew everybody's story. Ki what was their life experience? Why did they get into hospitality? How?
You were even sitting in the reception of these places.
I sat in the reception for 1 year as a receptionist, cleaner, sab kuch tip bhi milta tha. Life was good. So early years, you got to start from the absolute bottom, because you will learn, you'll become a subject matter expert. You don't have to start a subject matter expert, but you should become a subject matter expert soon.
Hi, Ritesh, Rabinder Shah here. This side.
Yeah.
Here?
Here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Ritesh here, Rabinder.
Yes, go ahead.
What's your thoughts of, or what message you would like to communicate? Fear of failure. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Ravinder, look, I think as an entrepreneur, on day one, you have to leave fear, embarrassment, pride, arrogance, everything outside the room and enter, because these are the biggest enemies of entrepreneurial success. मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि मतलब when I clean the washroom of our hotels, and I still sometimes as a role modeling do it. It's very hard for people to sort of accept कि ये करेंगे, because unfortunately our upbringing doesn't teach it. Like a lot of like families do upbring that way कि आपको सब काम करना पड़ेगा, but some places there is a feeling that शायद ये काम हमारा नहीं है, ये काम दूसरे का है. मुझे लगता है कि I think those would be my perspective कि you have to leave this शर्म, pride कि ये काम मेरा है, ये दूसरे का है, वो अपने को छोड़ना पड़ेगा. लॉन्ग टर्म नवल तो बड़े मतलब हर एंटरप्रेन्योर के हीरो हैं, उनके रीडिंग सब पढ़ते हैं. आई थिंक नवल ऑलवेज सेज दैट आर यू लुकिंग टू बी प्राइड सीकिंग और आर यू लुकिंग टू बी वेल्थ सीकिंग. आई एम वेरी क्लियर दैट आई वांट टू क्रिएट अ बिग इम्पैक्ट. अच्छा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं और उसका आउटकम पे वेल्थ क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं. गुड वर्क एंड गुड इम्पैक्ट एंड हेंस गुड वेल्थ is my perspective, and it has to be clear for an entrepreneur.
Again, thanks a lot, Ritesh. We are going to end this session by calling him the real Bazigar. You've seen his journey from being a college dropout to now running one of the biggest hotels, but his humility of saying that he's willing to clean the toilets of the same hotel. And that's the true sign of a winner, Ritesh. So proud of you. Thank you for coming.